The Weed of the Week is sponsored by the Enlist Weed Control System from Dow AgroSciences, a new herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate.
Farming isn't just in the land, it's in you. Take control of weeds like never before. Enlist builds on the Roundup Ready system, combining proven control of a new 2,4-D and glyphosate in Enlist Duo herbicide. Protect what matters without changing the way you farm. Talk to your seed or crop protection supplier today.
Our weed of the week is wild buckwheat. This is a viney weed, kind of similar to field bindweed, ivy leaf morning glory, so control methods will be somewhat similar too. And the big thing I want to stress here is nobody's proven that this weed, wild buckwheat, is resistant to Roundup, but boy, it's tough for Roundup to kill.
All right, when we think about it, the key here is to get it before it vines out. When wild buckwheat first comes up, it's got a simple root structure underneath it rather than the rhizome system that you're going to see under field bindweed. So we've got a simple root, we've got one little plant coming up. That's the perfect time to kill wild buckwheat, and we can do a pretty good job with a lot of different products. However, once it starts to vine out, it gets underneath the crop, it wraps around the crop. It's very difficult to get good coverage on that plant. And many of the products that we're going to use to control wild buckwheat are contact killers. If you don't get good contact all the way across that plant, you're not going to kill every growing point, and you're not going to be happy with your control.
Most broadleaf weeds are easy to control in grass crops like corn. Wild buckwheat is a little bit of an exception because the HPPDs, things like Balance Flex, Loudus, Callisto, Impact, Armazon, they're a little weak. So you're going to need a little bit of atrazine with them or some other tank mix partner that includes dicamba or maybe even just straight old Buctril post-emerge. Pre-emerge, personally, I kind of like Sharpen, that you'd find that in Verdict. You know, Sure Start, Triple Flex, they're okay, but they're certainly not that great.
With wild buckwheat and soybeans, one of the best products that we've found over the years has been Pursuit. Now, Pursuit is in a lot of the premixes that could be used, like Authority Assist, for example. So you could put some Pursuit out pre-emerge. That does a pretty good job on wild buckwheat suppression. You may get some control out of it too in low pressure environments. When we use it post-emerge though, it is pretty effective if we get that timing right. The other product that I really like is FlexStar. That adds some burn, it speeds up the control just a little bit, and it really adds something to that Pursuit or Raptor that you may use to control wild buckwheat and soybeans.
In wheat, we like Sharpen Down, follow over the top with something like Husky if you want, because it's got Buctril in there, or you could go straight Buctril. You could throw in one of the SUs, something like Addition, Tank Mix, and then you'll have pretty decent control.
Wild buckwheat is our weed of the week. Get it under control before it vines out in your fields this year. Well, stay tuned. The Iron Talk is coming up next.